Hey everyone, this is David Steinman. This is the Heartland podcast, and I think we're going through an awakening. I think things have been so bad and are about to get worse that the end result will be an enlightening, a renaissance, an awakening. And by that I mean, well, let's talk about health and the environment. Before Donald Trump came back into power, my friends in Cancer Alley were about to enter into a new era of civil rights. EPA Administrator Michael Regan was working with them, and he enacted the Han rule so that plants all over the country, and especially one called DuPont Denka in Reserve, Louisiana, would have to really finally start to comply with federal regulations. And that was all reversed when Trump came into power. Plus, during 2023, Michael Regan EPA was about to enter into a consent judgment or an agreement with the state of Louisiana to stop putting all of its chemical plants in the area where vulnerable minority populations reside. In other words, small Black communities that built themselves up from slavery into thriving communities. And on the other hand, they're very vulnerable. And the parish councils, well, everyone on the parish council, and I don't mean everyone, but many members of parish councils in Cancer Alley work for the chemical company. And this is just an historic pattern of racism. They buy the chemical companies are the only ones who can buy the plantation land, the 3,000 acres. They build their plastic plant, their methanol plant, their fertilizer plant. They buy off the parish council or they employ the people on the parish council. And that's how it was going. And that's really a violation of people's rights to be healthy. Now, I call this an awakening because I am really hopeful that all of my friends in Make America Healthy Again, that movement that seems to be a little too much centered around a few figures I don't think should be looked up to, needs to expand its awareness. They're doing great on pesticides like Roundup and they've pesticide shield laws, dicamba. Recently, Moms Across America launched an investigation into military food and was finding hidden chemical toxins in the food that we feed our fighting men and women. It's all good. But we've got to expand the issues to make this more comprehensive. And we also have to remember that we have permanent interests, but our friends are not always permanent. And again, go further than just Roundup and focus on Roundup. Look at all the politicians who need to enforce all the environmental laws, which are really in bad shape right now. So we have to make politicians honest on both sides of the aisle. Now, I'll start with the Democrats. They are often well-intentioned, but stupid and often corrupted. The Republicans don't even seem to get the connection or lack any kind of backbone. There used to be some really good environmental Republicans. They were called green elephants. And in Louisiana, I want to mention, we have some coming up, like Michael Nichols is running against Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. And Mike Nichols is a Republican, but a conservationist. He has had a long career with the federal government, and he knows the issues there. And he has such good plans for a local sustainability, and he needs to be heard. And the point is that Republicans like Mike Nichols or Kim Landry Coates, they're rare. They're very rare and endangered. That's why they're called, I guess, green elephants. But the Republican Party has to also get in line with these values of environmental health and the issues that are similar that MAHA takes up, as I said. It's great that we can we have to have our voices heard to get pesticides like Roundup. It's only taken, 30, 40 years? We need better laws. So we need to be more systemic in our approach. And that's going to take a lot more thinking and thought from environmental leaders. And it's going to take a lot more from you because you're going to need to make your voice heard. People really responded on the pesticide shield laws. The word was put out, and Florida and Tennessee were flooded with calls, and it works. So make your voice heard. Now, I wrote a book called Raising Healthy Kids, Protecting Your Children from Hidden Chemical Toxins. It just came out. And it's all about the personal things you need to do to clean your life up and reduce your exposure significantly. I'm the head chief officer of the Healthy Living Foundation Chemical Toxin Working Group, and we file litigation all of the time against companies for selling products or foods with hidden chemical toxins like carbaryl, heavy metals like lead and cadmium, chemicals like dioxane. We've won suits against Procter and Gamble for their herbal essences and Pantene, against Kroger, against Walmart, against Bumblebee, Chicken of the Sea, many major companies. We've gotten chemicals out of the marketplace. Most recently, we won a suit against California Olive Ranch that involved carbaryl, and we got that out of all their products, and hopefully out of being used on any olives in California. So we really try to approach this, but I understand for all the work that I do or that Moms Across America or Glyphosate Girl does, we need to approach this systemically. Listen, we've lost $1 billion in funding for our organic program. No one is complaining about that. Well, I'm complaining. That organic program was making local farms sustainable because it was bringing food from local farms to the schools. There was a farm to school program and another program. It was going to help more farms transition from chemicals to organics. This is a huge market. Right now, we're importing so much of our organic foods because we don't have enough acreage here. Trump, the Orange Blob, is doing nothing to help this. It's really going to take our voices being heard to get more organic acreage. That's called food security. It's called local businesses. It's called thriving small communities, and it needs you. So here's what I want you to do. Google community sustainable agriculture and find a local supplier of community sustainable agriculture, that is foods grown on local farms, and buy a share. If you've got kids, it's all the better. They should know where their food comes from. They'll love it. Some of these places you can go out to the farm and pick your own. You can visit, you get to know your farmer. If you can't do that, go to a farmer's market. You can support local farmers that way. But start thinking this way on your own. This will really help. But we also need to put our money where our mouth is. That $1 billion that's been taken away from organic agriculture has hurt so many small farmers. You can go to a news site like Organic Insider and read some of the stories. You can go to my Substack and read the stories I've written too. I write about organic farms and how important they are to our health in my book, Raising Healthy Kids, Protecting Your Children from Hidden Chemical Toxins. I write about how the schools around Salinas used to be surrounded by spills that were sprayed with diazinon and other neurotoxic organophosphate pesticides. I come to visit and writing my new book. This was during the pandemic. All the fields were surrounded by organic strawberries and lettuce. It was great. It made me feel like the money I had spent buying all that organics, all those organically grown strawberries and lettuce, which I do. People tell me, why are you wasting your money? And I was thinking, I think I'm doing the right thing here. And I was, because I helped to put those organic fields right next to the school so the kids have a healthier environment. So my kids have a healthier California, so that we all have a healthier America. So I really do think this is a time of awakening. I want you to go out there and support local community agriculture. You can go to the websites and find a website where there are farms near you, buy a share, go to your local farmer's market. And when your voice needs to be heard, when there's a pesticide shield law, no matter where it is in America, when the farm bill comes up and we need to get that money back into organic farming, make your voice heard. You'll get all the prompts. Stay tuned to your social media. This is your new media. This is David Steinman. I'm the author of Raising Healthy Kids, Protecting Your Children from Hidden Chemical Toxins. You can subscribe to my Substack newsletter, David William Steinman. You can get my book at Amazon.com or use the link in this post. You can subscribe to my YouTube newsletter at David Steinman.